We'll be looking at a reading comprehension passage that came the CAT 2019 Slot 2 question paper. The passage talks about the preservation of archaeological treasures. War, natural disasters, and climate change are destroying some of the world's most precious cultural sites. Google is trying to help preserve these archaeological wonders by allowing users access to 3D images of these treasures through its website. So war, then your natural disasters like earthquakes, cyclones, as well as climate change are destroying some of the world's most precious cultural sites. Now, what Google is doing is they're trying to preserve these archaeological wonders by allowing users access to 3D images of these cultural sites. And the thing is, the users can access these 3D images through Google's website. But the project is raising questions. What Google is doing, questions are being raised about what Google is doing. One is they're questioning Google's motivations. What is motivating Google, to take up such an endeavor, and about who should own the digital copyrights. Some critics call it as a form of digital colonialism. Digital colonialism is nothing but when a company or a country takes ownership of public data, or in this case is going to be 3D images of these archaeological wonders which are located in different parts of the world. So when it comes to archaeological treasures, the losses have been mounting. ISIS blew up parts of the ancient city of Palmyra in Syria, and an earthquake hit Bagan where dozens of temples were damaged. So what has happened is ISIS blew up parts of the city, as well as an earthquake hit Bagan, an ancient city in Myanmar, damaging dozens of temples in 2016. In the past, all archaeologists and historians had for restoration were only photos, drawings, remnants, and intuition, that is based on memory. But that is changing now. So just before the earthquake at Bagan, many of the temples on the site were scanned. So many of the temples on the site in Bagan were scanned. These scans are currently on Google's art and culture site. The digital renditions allows viewers to virtually wander the halls of the temple, look up close at paintings, turn the building over to look up at its chambers. Google Arts and Culture works with museums and non-profits to put high quality images online. So the main thing is now, previously your historians had to rely on photos, drawings, remnants, and intuition to restore the temples and other damaged archaeological treasures. Now the situation has changed. Now, because Google has, scanned the site before the earthquake, they'll have a better idea, because see, these 3D images even allows a common person who's sitting in any part of the world to actually wander the halls of the temple, look up close at paintings, and turn the building over. So instead of actually going to the site, you'll be able to look at the beauty of these archaeological wonders from the comfort of your house itself. Okay. And now what Google Art and Culture is doing is they're working with museums and other non-profits. See the point? Non-profits to put these high quality images online. So the images of the temple in Bagan are part of a collaboration with SIAC. So see, it was clearly given, right, that they're collaborating with non-profits. Google is collaborating with non-profits as well as museums. In this case in Bagan, they have collaborated with SIAC that creates the 3D scanning of historic sites. Google says it doesn't make money of this website. So what Google is saying is it is not making money of its website, but it fits in with Google's mission to make the world's information available and useful. So what Google is saying is it's looking to make the information of the world available and useful to everyone. Critics say the collaboration could be an attempt by a large corporation to wrap itself in a sheen of culture. But the critics are feeling that there's something else, which is motivating Google to do this. So Ethan Wottrell, an archaeologist, professor at Michigan State University and a member of the Society for American Archaeology, says he's not comfortable with the arrangement between SIAC and Google. He is, I think, a critic of what is happening. And what he says is this project is just a way for Google. What he feels that this project is just a way for Google to promote Google. They want to make this material accessible so people will browse it and be filled with wonder by it. But in the process, what will happen is it's all about advertisement. So what he feels is Google will generate money through advertisements, as well as it will drive a large number of people to this particular website. So in the process, it is a win for Google. Google will make money through advertisements as well as because of traffic, which will, traffic means people who will start accessing this particular website. Watrel says, what Watrel is feeling is, these images belong on the site of a museum or educational institution. What he feels it should not be on the Google art and cultural website. It should be on the website of a museum or educational institution where there is serious scholarship study and a very different mission. That's what he feels. So in this particular passage, this particular paragraph, they mainly refer to what Ethan Waterall feels, one of the main critics of what Google is doing in when it comes to 3D images, so of archaeological wonders. So what he feels is, they want to make this material accessible to people who will browse it, but the main thing is, it's all about, he feels that it's going to be all about advertisements and driving traffic to this particular website. He also feels that these images belong on the website of a museum or educational institution and not on the Google art and cultural website. There's another major issue. There's another issue. SIAC owns the copyrights of these scans in this particular place, right? Bagan. SIAC owns the copyrights of the scans, not the countries where the sites are located. So SIAC, because SIAC has come and taken 3D images and the scans of that particular place, SIAC owns it, not the country where these sites are located. This means the countries. So in order for the countries to use these scans, they would have to seek SIAC's permission before they could use it, which is the main controversy in this passage. So that means the countries need SIAC's permission to use these images for. So the thing is, these sites are first of all located in these countries. Some external organization, a so-called non-profit, is coming in, taking photos, scanning those photos, and then rendering it into 3D images, and they claim ownership. They claim ownership to those scans, and if the country where the sites are located would like to access those images, they would have to first seek SIAC's permission before doing so. Erin Thompson, a professor of art crime at John Jay College of Criminal Justice in New York City, says it's the latest example of a Western nation appropriating a foreign culture. This is the latest example of a Western nation taking advantage of a foreign culture, a centuries long battle. Now what is happening is, they're slowly Western countries and other, that's what she is referring to, is the Western countries are taking ownership of other countries images, scans, photos, and it is the latest example of Western nation appropriating a foreign culture. SIAC says it copyrights the scans so no one can use them in an inappropriate way. So what SIAC is saying is, the reason it's copyrighting it is so that no one can misuse those scans. The company says it works closely with authorities during the process, even training local help. But critics like Thompson are not persuaded. They're not satisfied. She would prefer the scans. What she feels is the scans should be owned by the countries and people where the sites are located, instead of the ownership being with the non-profit or company which comes and takes the photos and scans. Fine. So if you go back from the beginning. So firstly, it talks about there should be some reason as to what is motivating Google to do this, as well as they talk about, the digital colonialism. Then they talk about two cities in particular, Palmyra city where ISIS blew a pass, and then about Bagan. And previously archaeologists had to use, old photos, drawings and all to restore those places. But now it has changed. Because of these 3D images which are available on Google's art and culture website, they're able to, restore it in a better way, as well as people can, access these archaeological wonders from anywhere in the world. Then one main critic, that is Ethan Waterall, what he feels is, at the end of the day, it is all about advertisements and driving traffic to this particular website, and at the end of the day, Google is only going to benefit. And he feels that this is an important point. He feels that that all these images should be located on the website of a museum or educational institution and not on Google's art and cultural website. And the main thing actually is SIAC is owning the copyright of the scans. And Erin Thompson says that this is completely wrong, because the copyright should be with the countries where these sites are located, the countries as well as the people. So now we look at the questions. So based on his views mentioned in the passage, one could best characterize Dr. Watrall as being, so Dr. Watrall is against Google and its advertisements, and he feels that it's only all about driving traffic, and he says these images belong on the site of a museum or educational institution. So based on his views mentioned in the passage, one could best characterize Dr. Watrall as being opposed to the use of digital technology. No, he's not opposed to the use of digital technology in archaeological and cultural sites in developing countries. No. Dismissive of lay people's access. No, he's happy if people have access to it. Uneasy about the marketing fine of archaeological images for commercial use by firms. Thing is, this is somewhat correct, but the main thing is it's clearly given that, SIAC, if they've given the example of SIAC, is a non-profit, so they're not going to use it for any commercial purposes. And Google has also said that it's looking, to ensure that these images are available to the world. So there's nothing about commercial use. So this is also wrong. If you look at the fourth one, Dr. Watrall is being critical about the links between a non-profit and a commercial tech platform. So commercial tech platform, because he feels that Google at the end of the day will be driven by advertisements, and it'll be looking to drive traffic to this particular website. So this is the apt answer. Second one. By digital colonialism, critics of the SIAC project are referring to the fact that SIAC and Google have been scanning images without copyright permission from host countries. Okay, but not perfectly correct. The scanning process can damage. No, this is thing. No, this is not given. This also, we'll look at this thing. We'll look for a better answer. Countries where the scan sites are located do not own the scan. This is directly given in the passage. This is the main thing. That's what Erin Thompson also is saying. Countries where the scan sites are located do not own the scan copyrights. Instead, what is happening is SIAC is gaining, SIAC is claiming complete copyright to all those scans. So this is your answer. Third one, which of the following, if true, would most strongly invalidate, that is nullify or go against Dr. Watrall's objection? So his main objection is he's against Google because he feels Google is all about advertisements and then driving traffic to this particular website, as well as he feels that this content should not be on Google art and cultural website, but it should be preferably on the websites of museums and educational institutions. So which of this will go against, most strongly nullify or go against what Dr. Watrall is objecting to? So Google takes down advertisements on its website hosting thing. Okay, fine, possible, but that is not the main issue. There's a ban on SIAC scanning archaeological sites located in other countries, but then there will be other non-profits. There'll be other non-profits which will collaborate with things. So this also is not correct. SIAC does not own the copyright on scanned images, but still he's talking about something else. This would have been okay for Erin Thompson. If you look at the fourth one, SIAC uploads his scanned images of archaeological sites onto museum websites only. This is a perfect answer. He'll be very happy, right? If this happens, he won't have any objections after that, because his main thing is it should be, instead of on Google's website, it should be on the museum's websites and educational institutions websites. So if this is the case, right, when actually SIAC is uploading the scanned images onto museum websites, he won't object at all. He would not be objecting at all. So in Dr. Thompson's view, SIAC owning the copyright of its digital scans of archaeological sites is similar to, is akin to, means is similar to, if you see tourists uploading photos of monuments onto social media, that is fine, but they're not gaining ownership. They're not gaining ownership of those photos or whatever. The seizing of ancient Egyptian artifacts by a Western museum. This is the best answer. If you see this, right, you take your precious monuments from different countries and then you go and display it in your own museums. Doesn't make sense. And then you claim ownership also to that, which is not right. So this is similar to what SIAC is doing. You take photos of archaeological wonders present in other countries, and then you claim ownership to those scans and photos. So this is your answer. Fifth one, of the following arguments, which one is least likely to be used by the companies that digitally scan cultural sites? So least likely. So you take one of these statements which the digital, I mean, these companies will most probably not state when they're going to scan these cultural sites. So which one is least likely? So out of these four statements, three more or less the companies will use one of these three arguments. The fourth one will be the odd one out. The fourth one is something which the companies will not even use when they're looking to say that that they're looking to scan and preserve these cultural sites. It enables people who cannot physically visit these sites to experience them. Yes. So any person, any sitting from any part of the world can access these 3D images. Yes. It helps preserve precious images in case of sites. Yes. They're given an example also. It allows a large corporation to project itself. That is not the case, right? It provides images free of cost. Yes, because it is a non-profit. But if you look at this, it's not going to go about they're not going to go around saying that it allows a large corporation to project itself as a protector of culture. They're not going to go around saying that. So when they're trying to do some sort of marketing about these, this particular website, the Google Art and Culture website, where they're promoting these, where they're showcasing these 3D images, they will tell, yes, you can visit these sites. You cannot, people who cannot physically visit these sites can at least experience them by visiting the website. Yes. It helps preserve precious images. Yes, that is also given in the passage. Archaeologists can use them for restoration. Provides images free of cost. Yes, it's an incentive to make people come and visit the website. But the third one, they will obviously more or less not use it. So that is the odd one note.